After hitting send, I closed the laptop, put the hard drive with all the core code into my backpack, and started packing my personal things. There wasn't much. A few changes of clothes, a few technical books, and the coffee mug that had stayed with me through countless all-nighters. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a bank deposit notification. A long string of zeros sat there in the message, like it was announcing the end of one era and the start of another. Over 500 million in cash. Jack, you used 180 grand to take my dignity. I used over 500 million to buy back my freedom. From now on, we owe each other nothing. Jack found out I had resigned during a golf outing with investors. He had just proudly swung his club. Surrounded by praise, he took the phone from his secretary and saw the resignation email copied to the entire board. The smile on his face vanished. Tom resigned? He frowned. His first reaction wasn't anger, it was disbelief. To him, Tom was like a company server. Quiet, stable, running all year with no downtime. He had never imagined that server would shut itself off. Just because I didn't give him that 180 grand last night? Jack gave a cold laugh and said to the investors beside him, "Tech people these days are way too fragile. A tiny thing and they throw a fit. Leave him alone for a few days and he'll come crawling back." The investors laughed along, but there was a hint of caution in their eyes. Everyone in the industry knew Dingsheng Tech was built on the infinity system Tom created. A core figure suddenly quitting was no small thing. Jack sounded relaxed, but he was irritated. He felt Tom was challenging his authority, especially at a moment like this. He decided to teach Tom a lesson. He would have legal and HR stall the resignation process, prepare a harsh non-compete agreement, and have headhunters spread the word in the market, making it look like Tom could be replaced at any time. He wanted Tom to know that without Dingsheng's platform, he was nothing. But before he could arrange any of that, the real storm arrived. At 2 p.m., right after the market opened, Dingsheng Tech stock suddenly saw a massive sell order. 5 million shares were snapped up below market price. The trade hit the calm market like a rock hitting water and instantly sparked panic. Inside Dingsheng Tech's trading room, everyone was in chaos. Jack's phone was nearly exploding. The company's CFO, John, reported in a trembling voice, "Chairman Jack, this is bad. Someone is maliciously shorting our stock. Just now, a block of equity worth nearly 500 million changed hands. Find out who did it. Right now. I want to know which shareholder is behind this." Jack roared into the phone. He couldn't imagine who would betray him at a time like this. The news quickly came back through internal channels at the brokerage. When John saw the name Tom on the seller's account, he almost dropped the phone. He told Jack the name with a shaking voice, and the other end went dead silent. Jack stood frozen on the golf course lawn. The cold wind blew hard. The sun was bright, but he felt cold all over. Tom. It was actually Tom. He sold all of his shares just because of that 180 grand year-end bonus? That lunatic. Did he have any idea what kind of hit this would be to the company? Rage, shock, and an unspeakable fear seized Jack all at once. He finally realized the situation had completely escaped his control. Tom's resignation wasn't a tantrum. That simple email was a declaration of war, and the real bad news was still coming. The company secretary called in a panic, her voice almost crying. "Chairman Jack, something huge happened. That block of shares, the buyer is StarTech." With a boom in his head, Jack felt like a bomb had gone off in his brain. His vision went black, and he nearly collapsed. StarTech. Tom hadn't just sold his shares. He had sold them to the company's biggest enemy. This wasn't just cashing out and walking away. This was letting the wolf into the house. This was the most vicious, complete betrayal. In the top floor conference room at Dingsheng Tech headquarters, the air was so heavy it felt like water could be wrung from it. Every executive and board member was there, panic written across their faces. In just 1 hour, the company's stock had plunged 8%, wiping out over 500 million in market value. Jack sat at the head of the table, his face dark, his eyes bloodshot, like a wild animal trapped in a cage. He kept calling me, but all he heard was the same cold message. "The number you have dialed is powered off." He slammed his phone onto the conference table, making everyone jump. "I pay all of you, and you can't even find one person? What about his place? The places he usually goes? Dig him out for me." The HR director stood up, shaking. "Chairman Jack, we checked Chief Engineer Tom's address. We sent people there, but the place was already empty. He seems to have listed the apartment for sale, too. He contacted the agent late last night." Jack punched the table, veins bulging on the back of his hand. Only then did he understand. Tom had been prepared. He had already cut off every path back. "Chairman Jack, now isn't the time to assign blame," CFO John said, his face pale. "StarTech already has 5% of our shares. Under the company charter, they have the right to nominate a director to the board. And market panic is spreading. If we can't come up with a response before the market closes today, the stock will fall even harder tomorrow." "A response? How do we respond?" "Tell the market that our technical core, the soul of this company, took all our technical secrets to our biggest rival because I didn't give him a 180 grand year-end bonus." The conference room went dead silent. Everyone lowered their heads, too afraid to look at Jack. They had all been at last night's annual party. They had all seen how Jack humiliated Tom. At the time, they thought the chairman's move was clever, killing the chicken to scare the monkeys and warning the old guard. Who could have imagined that the chicken they used to scare the monkeys would turn around and flip the whole sky? Just then, Jack's personal phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, his pupils tightened, and the last bit of color drained from his face. The call came from Mr. George, Dingsheng Tech's largest institutional investor, honorary director, and a highly respected figure in the industry. Back then, it was Mr. George's sharp eye that led him to make Dingsheng Tech's first angel investment, giving the company its start. Mr. George wasn't just an investor, he was half a mentor to Jack. With trembling hands, Jack answered and forced out a smile. "Chairman George, you..." A voice came from the other end, old but powerful, with no emotion at all. It was as cold as ancient ice. "You have 10 minutes. Be in my office within 10 minutes and explain exactly what stupid thing you did." The call ended cleanly, leaving only a cold, busy tone. Jack stood frozen, sweat instantly soaking through his shirt. He knew the real judgment had only just begun. Jack practically stumbled out of the golf clubhouse. His driver was waiting in the parking lot and was startled by the sight of him, quickly opening the car door. Jack shouted at the driver to get to Mr. George's office fast. His voice was so hoarse it didn't sound like his own. The moment the car started, his phone rang again. This time, it was the company's chief legal officer, Alan. Alan kept his voice low, heavy with the weight of disaster. "I just received notice from the brokerage. Tom's share transfer has been fully completed, and the structure of the deal is very unusual." "Unusual how?" Jack asked impatiently. Tom didn't simply sell his shares to StarTech. First, he pledged the shares as collateral and borrowed bridge financing from StarTech. Then he used that money, through 3 different brokerage accounts, to buy Dingsheng Tech's public shares in batches on the secondary market. After he pushed the price up, he dumped his original shares to StarTech all at once. What does that even mean? Jack's head was buzzing. He could barely follow the technical terms anymore. It means that before selling his shares, Tom used borrowed money to drive up the stock price. Alan's voice carried a trace of disbelief. By the time his original shares were sold, the transaction price was nearly 12% above normal market value. In other words, he didn't actually cash out just over $500 million. He cashed out almost $600 million. And the public shares he bought through those 3 brokerage accounts are now all under StarTech's name. Add the 5% original shares Tom transferred and the 2% public shares acquired through the secondary market, and StarTech now effectively holds 7% of Dingsheng Tech. 7%? How is that possible? How long did this even take? The whole operation took less than 4 hours, Chairman Jack. That proves one thing. Tom's plan wasn't something he came up with last night. He'd been setting this up for at least a month. Those brokerage accounts and funding channels can't be built in a single day. Jack's hand shook violently around the phone. 1 month. Tom had been setting this up for a whole month. And what had Jack been doing? 1 month ago today, he was entertaining investors at a 5-star hotel, drinking 3,000 a bottle wine, sitting over a table full of delicacies, and bragging about Dingsheng Tech's bright future. He even remembered the details of that night. He had drunk too much and joked with an investor at the table. "Our chief engineer Tom is great with tech, but he's too rigid. Give him $1 million and give him a trophy, he'll choose the trophy." People like that are the easiest to handle. Just give them something symbolic and they'll be satisfied. Everyone at the table laughed. Someone chimed in, saying tech guys are just like that. Someone else praised Chairman Jack for knowing how to manage people. Looking back now, those laughs felt like knives cutting into him. One more thing. We just found out that Tom entered the company's core server room at 5:47 this morning. Surveillance shows he stayed inside for nearly 2 hours. Jack's heart tightened. We don't know what he did yet, but the data audit system in the core server room was manually shut down between 6 and 7:35 this morning. Only the CTO and the head of network security have permission to shut down the audit system. Ben submitted his resignation at 8:15 this morning, citing personal career development. His desk has been cleared out, and we can't reach him.